There are three types of high schools in Africa that I want to talk about, and I gotta say, high school in Africa is a really special experience. From strict boarding schools that have shit food and military-like routines to them single-sex schools where hormones control every student's behavior. Heck, even private schools where the entire price of the school fees could feed a generation. Buddy, you get all that in Africa. Now, it's true that the type of school you went to could literally shape your worldview as a teenager. Not only that, but the quality of education and lifestyle too. Now, I'll be speaking specifically about the schools in Tanzania because that's where I'm born and raised, but I'm pretty sure that this is the way stuff is in the entire continent with just a few differences here and there. So behold! The following are the types of high schools in Africa. First, we got the public schools. Now, these ain't your regular public high schools, like the ones you see in Hollywood with kids wearing designer clothes, football fields with grass, and students eating burgers and fries for lunch. Nah, it all begins with y'all wearing uniforms as a requirement, head shaved bald, and don't get me started on the time you're supposed to get to school cause buddy, you can't be a single second late. Students are required to come with or pay for some cleaning equipments like brooms and slashes in the beginning of the year cause there's no such thing as a janitor in public schools. Students are the janitors. Breakfast and lunch depends on how much money your parents give you each day, and it's not like you enter a cafeteria, place an order and have your food on a plate. Hell no! In here we have food vendors. Like people come to school during the 10 a.m. morning break and the 1 p.m. lunch break, serving you with stuff like popsicles, fried cassavas, groundnuts, rice and beans, plantains, and mostly this food is served on plastic bags, and I gotta say, this shit really do slap. So if your parents didn't give you any money due to whatever reasons, mainly financial struggles, then you better pray that you have friends that can support you, or else you'll have to thug it out the entire day. This is why it's not in our culture to be nonchalant or a loner. Hunger eats all that shit away. Like, what do you do when it's lunchtime? You don't talk to no one and you got no lunch money, huh? What do you do, Mr. Nonchalant? One thing that sucks about public schools in Africa is the disciplinary actions teachers take when a student makes a mistake. Like, getting whooped in school is like IG models and BBLs. It's everywhere, every time. Be late to school, pow. Be a mark below the pass mark, pow. Getting caught going to the bathroom by the teacher on duty during class time. Buddy, it's straight up, pow. Like, teachers in here ain't looking for reasons to improve students and actually make them better. The only thing they're looking for is reasons to whoop your ass. But I gotta say, one thing that is good about public schools is that it truly gives people grit and prepares you for harsh realities and toughness of the third world. But everything else, including the level of education, it's not the best. Like, it really takes hard work for a student to actually pass the national exams, and these exams are the ones that determine whether or not you pass to go to advanced level education or university. And boy, the amount of students who do not make it is insane. This is the stuff that makes me appreciate and be grateful that I was born in an okay, doing better, middle class, normal family, because my family could afford to give me a better education. And that brings me to the second type, and the type that I went in, and that is private schools. Private schools in Africa have subdivisions within them, and this is based off of your gender, which we only have 2 in Africa by the way, and the amount of money you pay for school fees. Like, most private high schools do be boarding schools that are either boys or girls schools. Like, for some reason, parents in my country have been convinced that single-sex schools are better than normal schools for teens from the ages of 12 to 19, and they ain't wrong cause we're honey. So most private high schools are single-sex and boarding schools, and the law goes just like this. First of all, every student is forced to speak English, as in if you're caught speaking Swahili, bro, it's straight up pow. And it's like this cause English is the superior language of the world. Like, come on man, we all know that. Wake up time was one of the worst things about boarding schools cause they would wake us up at 5 a.m, sometimes even 4:30 a.m. And mind you, we went to bed at 10 p.m. And it's not like when you get to bed you just fall asleep. You'd have to go through war with these good-for-nothing purposeless pests called bedbugs. So every night felt like you slept for a second. And don't get me started on the food, bro. Like, oh my god, this is where we were scammed. Like, yo, the food we eat is ass, like complete garbage. These fools be feeding us ugali beans, and the way your mom cooks this dish is way different from how the schools do it. For my Western audience, let me tell you what ugali beans is. Well, ugali is this tasteless ball thing you made from mixing wheat, water and heating it up. And ugali itself doesn't make sense, so you gotta eat it with a side dish. And the side dish could be anything from beans, meat, sardines, vegetables. You get the gist. Like, your mom will have them beans filled with ingredients like onions, carrot, green pepper, salt, and a little bit of Royco on top of it, to give it that heavy, saucy, rich taste. Wanna know how they make it in school? Well, the ugali is made the same everywhere, so that don't matter. The beans though, they just take the beans, boil them in water, pour in salt, add a little bit of kerosene in order to control those raging hormones of yours. Then boom, you are eating this piece of garbage every lunch and dinner. And if you are lucky enough, you might have one lunch a week where you eat meat, or a few dinners where you eat rice and beans. Like I said, the fees you pay matter. So better food, better infrastructure, better education is based on how much school fees you pay. Because there are some private schools that have really good food, better sleeping hours, and as you guessed it, yes, they are the leading ones in national exam grades. The similarities between private and public schools is that we all get like just because you go to private school, that don't mean you escape the whooping. And also, we all do the same exams in the final year, the national exams, and we do study the same curriculum. So from the jump, the game is rigged for my homies in public school, cause how can you compete with dudes who have an entire system created for them to study, while you have to face family struggles, home chores, and everything that's going on in your streets? Like guys, public school students have it rough, man. But you know what? Public and private schools don't even matter when it comes to this type right here, cause this type is the elite. Like they are the superiors when it comes to the hierarchy of schools in Africa. International schools, your time has come. Two major things that separate the international schools from the other types above is that these guys are so lit that they don't study the normal national curriculum. This dude be on that Cambridge or K-12, Americans, please help me here. And the school fees this guy pay per year, yo, I can't even say. These schools low-key do got it all, man. From the best studying environment, high quality education, elite sports facilities, and every black man's kryptonite, nobody's my fault. Like most, if not, let me rephrase it. All the kids who study in these schools are rich kids, all the way from kids whose families come from different countries and live as diaspora residents to government official kids. So the world these guys grew in is different. Now, just like private schools, they also have classes within them, and that is based on how much money your school fees cost. Like most of my friends who went to these schools, they told me that they were in the low end of the hierarchy, as in there are elites within elites, and that keeps making me ask the question, where are you guys, huh? Where do you live? I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, I low-key envied kids who studied in international schools, cause why not? I mean, they went to schools that you saw in movies. Meanwhile, you have to worry about your 6'5" dark-skinned Jaluo math teacher who gives you anxiety the moment he set foot in school. And one more thing about these guys is that they don't get whooped, man, like golly. From what I've heard, man, international schools literally make kids become great. Like, bro, the school system, the facilities, the teaching styles, it just elevates kids into becoming better. And the quality of education beats the private schools and the government schools. Like, if you study in international schools, you can study anywhere in the world anytime, no problem. And it's not like you can't with public and private schools. It's just that with international schools, it's way better and easier. But wanna know what? If there's one thing you need to take away from this video, is that you should never allow the school you go to dictate your future. Also, please stop with the division, man. Like, this goes to everyone, because the stigma in the society is crazy. Like, you got some rich kids who look down on poor kids, and some poor kids who envy rich kids, so they bully them into feeling bad for being born rich. Like, come on, man, we don't choose the families we are born in. So despite the school you go to and how your life is shaped, don't feel bad about it. In fact, be proud and enjoy, because if there's one thing I've learned about African high schools is that at the end of the day, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter the ups and downs, this will always be some of the best days in your life.